Hey, how you guys doing? Let's do it to it. Okie dokie. There we go. Let's see if we can't. Okay. If it takes there, I play right there. And then I win this pawn. Looking kind of pretty. Gotcha. This is looking good for us. Okay. So takes. Queen takes. Pawn grab. And it grabs here. Let's see if it takes here, there, there, there. This looks like it's winning. I think that's a complete win now. Yeah, this should be a win. There we go. Analysis. Let's check the analysis. There. Takes. There you go. Perfect. And then there. Mate. That's good. Let's do a little bit of ball game. Perfect. Nice draft and pull. Let's bring 10. And then what I'll do is I'll transport. There we go. And we're training the troops. go 2 catapults coming in. Excellent there. Reward. Let's see what happens here. Alright, let's do it. Perfect. Excellent. Alright. Money, money, money. Excellent. do it to it. Go. Alright, we'll get back into the fray. See what we got for attorney. There we go. And I'll probably play that there. There we go. cover that. And play right there. There we go. Pushing, pushing, pushing. Keep an eye on this. Okay. Let's see here. I think I'll play up here, try to nab that. This is interesting. Let me see here. Trying to see. Okay, nothing there. Nothing there. Ah, okay. Let's try a new one. That was a tough one. Oh, nice. Even more. 10 points. I think he's doing the hedgehog. Go full bore. I feel spicy today. Let's go for a wing attack. The center's controlled. Oh, so he wants to play a little hardball. Ah, so he wants to do that, does he? Let's come in here. Come in here and say hello. There we go. Castles, queenside. See if we can't undermine this here. Pow. Oops. Drat. Let's try one more. I actually mouse clicked. My mistake on that one. Let me see here. Now we're gonna play. Hey, there we go. Wonderful. Reverse back. Develop. Develop. Castles. Develop. Develop. Oops. Develop. And of course, he can't play here. He loses. Ooh. Let's threaten this and that. Let's take here, attacking the rook. And then they will go to pound right on in here. Grab the rook. There's castles now because you're at material. Take care. here, bring a rook in, try to double up. Let's see here. Bring the rook in. Okay, perfect. Perfect. We're gonna come in here. See if we can't bring the rain. Right in there. And in here. So that's crushing. He has to give his queen up, otherwise he loses. Boom. And there's checkmate. The Arabian mate. We'll get our mini game up and running. So we'll go all the way to 8. And then we will do one more game. Let's see how we do here. get some soldiers in. Give them reward. Let's see what happens. Full. Alright, let's do it, guys. We got it, we got it. goes here. Alright, let's save. Perfect. Oops. Let's do it here. Okay. Now we're going to do our tactical. Okay. Perfect. This is a game between, and for the Russian of the, I'm going to make sure that's the correct name. I guess it is. It's the, this is 1958. It's called the Championship of White Russia. So this is a different type of setup here. And they're going to play, I believe this is, if I'm not mistaken, the bird opening. So let's see what happens here. Alright. Okay, so E5. And there we go. The bishop comes out, attacking this pawn. The kind of trick is if the bishop wins this pawn, the dark light square bishop wins the e pawn. So if black wins b4, the white will win e5. So that's the kind of, that's what certain openings are about. Like this wins that there. So you get to see. So by f6, now he is threatening to take on b4 without any problems. And so white's not afraid of that. So black just grabs it. He says, hey, in for a penny, in for a pound. You gotta love that. And so now black's up one pawn, and he has to be able to basically convert it. So he's got to probably try to trade down pieces and maybe go into a one endgame. And we're gonna get to see how that happens, and it's fun, so fun to do. Now the knight comes in, of course, development. The one thing about f6, though, as you can see, it's one of those problem moves because now the knight has to go to ge7 to g6, and then to get anywhere to g6, and then f4 to do anything. So this also had a drawback, and so white goes f4 and says, you know what, I'm ready for an attack. He's also going to develop a knight on f3 and then castles and try to get his development ahead of black to show. And black got greedy again, grabbed another pawn, which I don't. It looks good. It looks okay. Black winning another pawn looks good, but the problem is, white's going to get their development with knight to f3, castle kingside, and then the next move could be knight c3 here. And at that point, what would happen is white's fully developed, and then the bishop can the queen can come out either here or there and cause a lot of chaos. So is it worth taking the pawn? I don't know. I probably would be more inclined to probably have played d6 here, and then if they played something like this, just drop back, stopping castling. I'm up a whole pawn, and if they take, then I would take back, and I still have knight e7, g6, and into f4, and that's a power move. And now black has, in my opinion, a superior position. They can even develop their bishop here, queen, and if they wanted to just play cautious, then castle queenside, and then worry about maybe knight going in this way. And they're up a whole pawn. One thing you got to learn is don't push it, because you could throw the game away by pushing it, and that's actually what black does. Black gets a little greedy and then goes in for it, and now he's seceded the center, and I'm thinking, oh no, he actually plays knight, that's right, he plays knight h3 to attack the pawn, and there's really no way to defend this pawn, because if you played a g5 here, the knight could actually come back via this way and then play h4. That's a kind of sitch. And if you guys have any questions or anything, just put it in the chat and we'll go over it and look at it. So knight h3 here, knight to e7, knight g7, and remember the idea. Black's trying to defend by there, and he's hoping that white will actually take this pawn, which then would allow the knight to get to g6, with a idea of trading off knights and maybe even putting a knight in. You know, you never know on that type of situation, because there's a pin here, so this pawn can't push. So you have to always look at that. And black plays another dubious move, because the idea is the bishop will retreat back. So you put a piece on a horrible side of the board, and now it's going to take another turn. You have to go back to really do anything. And what is this knight actually doing here? Nothing. And so white sees the time for, I think this might actually be somewhat of a Greek gift here, because if pawn takes, which that wasn't happening, what was played was actually rook f8, which is kind of forced. If pawn takes here, queen checks. If knight comes in, knight takes. If pawn takes, then he wins a rook. So that's the idea based on it. That's why that. And in theory, black's hoping that white's going to take here and of course blunder a piece, but they're not going to do that. So they come back here, another exclam, and you're thinking, whoa, what's going on here? What's going on? They're hoping for, of course, white to black to play this move. Knight takes, pawn takes, then there's a check. Only way to stop is here, and now you have e5 here. Kaboom. And this is the power move right there, because what's happening is if black takes, castles, and then in comes another piece. So it's an interesting continuation. He took the bishop and said, you know what, go for it. So takes, king comes up, king is attacking the bishop and the rook. Black castles. Now he's defending the bishop right onto the king. The king goes to g8. Now the king's defended. I believe, let me see how many pawns. 6 to 5. And surprisingly, white's ahead a pawn, and he actually started down a pawn. So actually black was ahead 2 pawns. Now he's down, if you want, 3 pawns. In comes the queen. Rotakes. Knight comes in, and now do you see how he just basically disintegrated white's position, and now he's threatening to actually play a discovery and win the queen. And so the king moves, but that doesn't stop the knight from coming in and threatening checkmate. Only move is queen e7, and then knight f6. which threatens a lot of discoveries. It threatens this type of a mate here. And then if white can actually try this mate. I think those are the only two mates. Here and here. Yeah, I think those are the only two mates. Okie dokie, let's pull up another board and we'll do chapter 9. We'll do a game and then I'll put it in later. The name of it. Oh, 9. This is the Youth Team Championship of the USSR 1956. White is Kolso, and black is Anashan. I'm probably not pronouncing it right, but I'm doing my best, and I appreciate your patience. Okay, so we have E4, and then E5. This could set up for a lot of different openings. Like you can play the Scotch. You can actually play the Scotch game with this move here, here, pawn takes, and then takes. That's a Scotch game. This also sets up for if you wanted to go into the Russian variation or the Petrov. So there's a lot of different variations that could happen. Let's see what black plays. I think he's going for the Petrov. Now he's white doesn't want to go down that. I think he's probably going to set up some sort of Queen's Gambit, maybe declined, something like that. It's going to be interesting. So, oh, now they might go into the four knights variation. He doesn't go into the four knights. He does king. He goes G6 here. Fianchettoing. It looks like it might be an old line of the King's Indian. I'm thinking that's what this might be. A lot of the King's Indian moves are so that black can get castled really fast and then go for a huge onslaught. And so now bishop comes out to C4. So how many pieces? Let's just take stock for a second of the game. White has 3 pieces developed. Black only has 1. So in theory, development favors white. So what white's going to try to do is, if they can do it right and blow open the center with E4, then he's got something going for him, and that might actually be what is played. We'll see. Okay, bishop G7. Now black's got 2 pieces in the fight. White plays the queen D3, which puts another piece into the fight. So each one's developing. Knight goes to king E2 or G E2, and then there's bishop comes to G5. This has an idea, of course, of pin, but it can actually be stopped now with F6. But the problem is, at that point, black loses the right to castle. So, and that's the interesting thing. That's the real interesting thing. Does black want to castle here and then play king H8 at the right moment? Or castles and then play queen E8. Very interesting continuation. We'll find out. Let's see. He played pawn H6 here. H6 attacks the bishop. The bishop goes all the way back and is now everything's developed for white. He wants to go all in, and so he plays um, d6. Hmm. Queen e2 with the idea if, of course, if castles, they just lose a pawn there. Pawn to f6, f5 here. They're saying this is an exclam continuation. Exclam continuation, because the idea is black's more likely going to try to castle queenside now, because he knows that white could actually castle on both sides, and he's also threatening a very important move, f4. So if pawn takes, he still has f4 in the works. So that this is an interesting continuation. So the queen goes to e2, so that the idea is if f4 is played, bishop could actually go to d2, and that's what was played. Black's basically shutting down the whole entire king side and saying you don't have anything. And if you do think about castling kingside, I'm coming for you with g5, g5, h5, and then g4, h4, and he's just going to avalanche. He's going to his opponent into submission. Let's see what we got here. So 9. So bishop goes back. Now black brings out their bishop. Here comes a pin that wins. And now he throws up his pawn, and then the bishop goes to rook to h5, which is a mistake. I think probably the best continuation would, oops, sorry about that, would have either been taking, maybe taking, and then if queen takes, maybe g6, g5 here, g4, maybe queen up, something like that. I maybe even just retreating back and just saying what you got, my friend. You don't have anything. And if knight h4, I believe this is a mistake, because then you have g5. But you do have this one move, queen check. So tough, because then it would actually lead to a checkmate. So maybe that's not too silly after all, that move. I don't think we would have to worry about it. I think we can actually at this point play a really killer move, knight d4 here, which really causes a lot of panic in the white camp, because the queen can't go here, here, or here. The only move it can't go here or here. It can't go here, so it only has these two squares. And if it comes back there, now you can actually, in theory, play this move, h6 or h5, and then g5, and now the position is eventually going to cause a lot of headache. And plus, there's potential this move here. There's a lot of play still left in the position, but bishop h5, no, not the best move. You get a sip here. Okie dokie. Now you have king right here. This move's interesting, because white's going to play impasse, or ef takes g3, and then pawn takes g3, and now white will just castle queenside, and black's whole advantage is torched. I think he has to always play a knight in here, but what about that move? I don't know if I like that. Let's see, knight takes knight. Bishop takes queen. Wow. Okay. Guess in for a penny, in for a pound. Maybe knight. Wow. I don't know. They're saying that's an exclam continuation. So knight f6. This threatens to attack here. Take that bishop. Queen knight 1. Yeah, I think now black's on the back foot here. And I think knight takes bishop check. King to queen. Let's see here. King takes bishop. Pawn to c6. Give the king another flight square. Queen rook to f1. Or f1. Or af1, I mean, af1. Rook to f8. And let's see right here. Bishop checking on the king. The king walks over to c7. Now, if black's king can survive this, black will win. Black has to survive the onslaught at this present moment. And if white can't bring anything to bear, any firepower, he's toasted. So now it's all or none. This is like desperado. This is a desperado move game here. King there. Okay, bishop. Wait a second. That's not it. Bishop. B7. Nice. He's trying to flush out the king. He's doing everything he can. A rook. Rook h1. Rook b7. No. Rook. Oh, knight. No, bishop, knight 3. Oh, bishop, knight 3. Let me see something. We're on 20, so 21. So bishop, knight 3. Oh, right here. They're saying this is an exclam move because I think we have 3 pieces for a queen. We have these pieces here for a queen. So and Bobby Fischer actually played a similar game where he traded 3 pieces for a queen and he actually won. So 3 pieces it's enough to win. So king goes to d6. Wow. Or b6, I mean. Rook comes into f7. Queen comes to d8. Knight knight attacks the queen with e6. Queen attacks the rook. Rook a4 check. King a6. And knight to b4 or b7 mate. That was an impressive game. And it all started with this one move. Let me see, right here. This one move right here started the whole chain of events, which led to taking, knight check. There, taking there. I don't know if I think it's dropping no matter what. King up. Now he's got 3 pieces for the queen. Check. Bishop. There we king up. Queen. I'm just trying to see if there's anything that black could have done to survive. Maybe queen d7 here. Knight checks. King h. Oh, I see the idea. It's the knight move, knight c5 here. And if pawn takes c5, king takes c5, king moves, and the queen drops. So, okay, that's why he didn't play that. Okay, that makes sense now. It was an interesting. I know it'd be so tempting to play this move here. This move, queen d7, but d7 actually loses to a tactical move of knight a4. If king, I think b5 here. I think this is actually check. Let me see, where can he actually go? Try to see. Let me see. Oh, he takes the knight. That's what it was. Okay, so that can't check on that one. That checks off the limits. Maybe it's c4 here. Comes back. Then he still loses the queen at that point. Goes after takes because it's forced. Otherwise, I guess it's not forced. You could. Well, yeah, I guess it is forced. And you take there, and after you move here, you win with checkmate there. I should check, and then mate's gonna follow. So yeah, wow. Powerhouse. We'll do a quick war, and then we'll do one final game, and we're good. Let's build up the reserves and go. Okay, I'll accept. Alright, do this. And now we'll save and do our final. Okay, there we go. Perfect. Let's do it to it. Beautiful. And let's see here. Okay. What's this one? Clear limit reach 10. Okay. Okay. Let's do it. Okay. Go. If they want to play slow, that's fine with me. I'm gonna go H. I might castle queenside first. Get all the pieces developed and then go H. We'll have to see. So let's go. Let's go for it. nice and easy. We're up, gonna be a pawn pretty soon. Might even be rook, and then slide up. Okay. Boom. Boom. There we go. Trying, I think we're almost equal here. keep everything together. This is getting tricky, tricky, tricky. Let's play here. See if we can't boost it. Boost our queen up. Let's see if he'll trade. All we gotta do is get a trade, and then we win. We can trade the queens. We win the game. There we go. Oh boy, he's just submitted to basically losing. There we go. that was the losing move. Let's see, check. I think that's the move. Because if he checks here, now this is going to be interesting for sure. There we go, first check. Second check. And then there's mate. One more should do it. One more. Yeah, there we go. This is interesting here. There we go. Let's see if I can't force the exchange. Let's force it and get this game a going. Come on, push it. Take it. Take it. here. I'm just going to grab it right there, ruining entirely all his pawns. And then I can play here and here with a knight outpost, and if he tries to attack with the rook, oh, he retreats back. Okay, that's fine. That is fine. I'm fine with that. Let's go, go, go. Let's see if I can't hit here. There we go. Now we're getting ready to hammer home the victory. Let's hold on. Hold on. I think I just better grab that. Got that one. Just trying. I think I've won this now. Yep, this is over. Let's see what we got here, and then we'll call it on this one. I'll have to resign here. If they play here, we queen. There it is. We'll call it right here. I want to thank you all for logging on, participating. Remember what the Team Chess Cruncher motto is: hanging up your coats, hanging up your hat, sitting down and studying when most won't. Team Chess Cruncher does, and that makes all the difference. And if you like what you see, please follow or subscribe. Much appreciated to help the stream. And remember what Wesley So says: serve the Lord Jesus. And I say God bless. And I'll see you next time on Chess Cruncher TV. Be blessed, my friends. Bye bye.